Anime Addicts, this podcast is brought to you by our lovely Anime Addicts community, keeping this podcast ad-free. If you want to help support the show, get all of our exclusive content, free access to the Discord, show notes, and of course that warm feeling you get inside when you do a good thing, you can go to our Patreon page, or you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join. That'll get you to where you can support the show. You get all of our exclusive goodies. And again, you'll be helping out your favorite podcast. And now, it's time to start the show.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello, darling, and welcome to episode 806 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast, the only podcast around to make your anime addiction worse. Today, we got a small, intimate crew on the last day of November 2025. It's myself, Mason, and joining me today, our esteemed guest and colleague, it's Caroline. How's it going?
Hi. Oh, it's going good, but man, I am tired from all the holiday festivities I've had in the last few days. It's been a lot. My voice is a little raspy, but hopefully we can get through the show even so.
We were supposed to have a third, but they couldn't make it at the last minute. So between allergy season, that dry, cakey air that just sucks the life out of you, we're going to try to struggle through this because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have a very fun, I think, main topic. We'll be talking about anime as sports logos. And if you don't know anything about sports, you don't know your kits from your uniforms, from your jerseys to your sweaters, don't worry. It'll be fun either way, as well as a review of My Dress Up Darling Season 2. And if you like what we do around here, head on over to our website, AAAPodcast.com. You can find links to our Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, but most importantly, our Discord, or just go to AAADiscord.com, where there are so many people, so much to do, so much fun things happening, and especially this time of year. Caroline, what is going on with the Discord?
So much. I mean, as always, we have our anime club. We get together every other Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. And this upcoming Wednesday, December 3rd, we are having a watch party for Iroduku, The World in Colors, which I've never seen, so this will be interesting. And if you've never seen it, just hop right in. No pre-knowledge necessary. We're just going to hang out, watch a few episodes of a show. And we also have an idea for the upcoming meeting after that. It's going to be Dub-Sember. So we are going to find a anime with a reputable English dub, and we'll be watching that and reviewing that in a discussion. So that'll be upcoming in the anime club. We also have our annual Secret Santa. This has to be like the third or fourth year we're doing it. So if you would like to join in, please come to our Discord and go to the Secret Santa chat. It is now, where is it? It's kind of near the bottom. I'll be moving it up a little bit. It's in the miscellaneous chat area.
We'll crank that up into prime time.
Yeah, we'll move that around a little bit. But there's a very easy written out explanation of what you have to do. It's in the pinned notes in that channel as well. All you got to do is give me your likes, dislikes, things that you prefer, etc. In terms of anime, and I will personally pair you with a Secret Santa who will make all your dreams come true. And then we also have Secret Satan who will be doing the exact opposite, finding you the worst show that you ever could think of, or something you might think is a bad show, but your Secret Satan is telling you, no, rethink what you think is right. But that's optional. Secret Santa is more
mandatory.
What we are here for.
Mandatory. So, every Discord member must do this. And I will say, Caroline puts a ton of work into doing this. So the least we ask of you, if you want to participate, is make sure that the list you provide on either Mal or AnyList or whatever tracking site you use is up to date. Because every year I feel like there's a couple people who do their submissions, you pair them perfectly, they give a great suggestion, and they're like, oh, I've seen that one, I just forgot to put it on my list. And that's fair. We've seen a lot of anime. We all have. And those mistakes happen. Just try your best. Keep those lists pristine and up to date, and everyone will have a great time.
Yeah. And we're all very forgiving in the Secret Santa group.
But...
And it's a lot of fun, so please join the chat and give me your form. The deadline is this upcoming Saturday, December, 6th? December 6th. If I have not already made the matches, I could perhaps still accept your
late submission
form, your late submission. But that's only if I have not yet done the pairings yet. So please give it to me as soon as possible. Thank you. And we're bound to have a lot of fun this Christmas. And speaking of fun, what's coming up for us, Mason?
In the episode or
yes,
in life?
Or is there more that I'm forgetting?
No, that's it. Secret Santa's here. Join the Discord. And let's get to the big news of the week.
It's time for big news of the week.
So coming
Man,
hot
I
off...
had such a good transition. I had such a good transition, and I forgot that you already explained what we are doing this episode. So therefore,
if you want to do the transition, we can just roll it back, and I can magically edit into you being a whiz kid.
Nah, that's too much.
We'll save it for next time. So over the Thanksgiving
you go ahead. What's your big news?
break, kind of a slow news week, but I wanted to give this shout out for a new anime announcement that I know people are likely excited for because they've been waiting for a gosh darn long time to do it. That is the return of the Saga of Tanya the Evil. Finally, this anime is coming back after many years away. Season 1 aired back in January of 2017. There was an anime film in 2019. Season 2 was announced in 2021, and it's been 5+ years now where people have been clamoring for more of this show. And for really only having 12 episodes, I felt like this got a ton of popularity and acclaim, and this was just a guaranteed chew-in for more of it. And in a season and years where we've gotten a lot of quick sequel turnaround times, this has kind of just been waiting in the wings, people wondering where it is. It's here. It's coming. 2026. More Tanya. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I know a lot of people love it. I might be putting words in Otaku's mouth, but I thought he'd be excited to talk about it today. There will be a new director in Takayuki Yamamoto. He was an episode director for some of the My Hero Academia episodes, so you might be in good hands. You might not. Caroline, have you ever checked out this show? Any opinions on it?
I haven't, but I haven't seen it. But, as you mentioned, a ton of people talk about it. It's kind of like one of those surprising hits over the last several years.
Yeah, it was one of those isekai that just was different enough to be its own thing.
Yeah. But I don't really know much about it, except like my first initial thought was, wait a minute, is this like Hitler if she was an anime girl? But I don't think that's exactly correct.
It's not the most accurate jumping on point, but you're not as far off as you might think.
Oh no.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It gives a bit bad vibes early on, but it's a popular show for a reason. So if you're excited for that, there you go. It's coming. What do you got?
All right. Well, another addition into anime that get very late sequels, which is really funny. All right. Also in the news, we heard that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced the eligible films for the 2026 Oscars in the animated feature category. Amongst the eligible titles, we have Chainsaw Man, the movie, Rise Arc. Some others that I am not really familiar with. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, Dragonheart, I haven't heard of that one. 100 Meters, I have heard of that one. I heard it's good.
Yeah.
Scarlet by Mamoru Hosoda. I didn't know that he had another movie out. And that's the first I've heard about it. But yeah, several anime are going to be eligible for the category. Also, K-pop Demon Hunters will be eligible for this. In order to be eligible, films must play in at least one theater in 6 major American metropolitan areas for 1 week before December 31st to qualify. So the shortlists for the categories will be announced on December 16th. Nominations will be announced on January 22nd, and the award ceremony will be on March 15th. So let's see if one of these movies manages to make it into the nominations and possibly win the category. Mason, of these movies, what do you think has the best chances?
I mean, I think K-pop Demon Hunters and Demon Slayer would probably get in just based on their popularity. And as much as we've heard that there's a bit of an effort, a turnaround in the Oscars committee and organization to try to really enforce, everyone has to watch the movies, everyone has to get in. I don't know. That's for the voting once they're nominated. I don't really know the process of how eligible films are voted in or considered. So
yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
I don't know what threshold defines that. So yeah, I'd love to see Chainsaw Man. I'd love to see 100 Meters get in there. I haven't seen Scarlet yet. I would have my doubts, but I would think at least 2 of these are getting in. And they're probably not the ones I enjoy, but I guess I would need to see what other non-anime films are up for potential stuff.
So in your opinion, which of these is most deserving of a win here?
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen 100 Meters yet, and that breaks my heart because that's like the most Mason core of all these movies. So
it really is.
I would guess either that or Chainsaw Man if I had to put words on anything. But give me a month. Give me a chance to see Scarlet. Give me a chance to see 100 Meters, and we'll get back on that train. What do you think, Caroline?
All right. I know I only asked that question because I know you watch a lot of anime movies.
Yeah, I kind of made it my thing.
I have not seen any of these movies. I haven't seen any of these movies except for K-pop Demon Hunters. But I have wanted to see 100 Meters. I know Demon Slayer is a lot of fun. Chainsaw Man, I have heard good things. So yeah, that's my uninformed opinion.
There we go. We both need to crack our knuckles, do some research, but we'll get back to you on what should have made it and what should have won when that gets... We have till March to actually see who wins, so we've got time.
And quick question, Mason. Is my stream okay? Because I am running on a hotspot today, guys. Not really?
I think you've been coming through fine. When you're running the stream, you know I got a lot going on. Like, it's a little choppy, but it's not like you've been... I'm about to glitch you big time. But no, you've been coming through fine audio-wise and visually, so...
Okay, good.
I mean, chat
Just wanted to make sure, at least for the audio-wise.
Let us know. Oh, speaking of which, we're live every Sunday at a certain time, depending on the what week it is. On Twitch, on YouTube, come hang out with us. Tell us, hey, Caroline, you're glitching out. Mason, you sound way too low. Whatever it is. And anyway, late second plug for that. Anyway, let's get to our main topic, which is anime as sport teams logos. So here's my setup pitch for this. The year is 2041. Anime is mega hyper globally popular in a way that we can't even dream of right now. We got K-pop Demon Hunters 2, and that broke everyone's mind. And everyone's all in on the anime game. And it's 2041, so we are about to honor Miyazaki's 100th birthday and the release of his upcoming film. And for 1 week, every major sports league in America has said, you know what? We're cashing in on this anime craze, and we're going to redesign our logos to be that of an anime property. And let's just say that no new anime comes out for the next 16 years or whatever. So this is all, we can't project on like, oh yeah, this future anime. No. With anime we know today.
Somehow anime is mega popular and yet died out years ago.
Yes, that's why people finally came to accept it, because they stopped making seasonal cred. So we're going to go through a gamut of sports teams that have, logos, and we're going to say, oh, in an alternate reality, what would be an anime version of that logo? So you don't need to know anything about sports. You just kind of need to know sports teams, but you can infer most of this from here. And we're going to jump all over from baseball to basketball, football, hockey, whatever. This was an idea that Otaku and I guess, kind of spawned, and then now we're doing it. So here we go. Where would you like to start, Caroline?
You will be missed today.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like to start from the top, but I will say if my picks are not as cool as Mason's, it's mostly because Mason put in his notes first and he picked a lot of the obvious ones.
So
I had to do my best.
Workshop this, and we will, some of these I put a couple ideas on, and we'll try to come to a best consensus. Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. And one thing I realized when I was looking across all these different sports teams, there's a lot of overlap between teams, There's a lot of Giants or Cardinals, like multiple of the same team in different sports. We're just going to kind of conglomerate some of those more similar ones together due to laziness and ease of getting through as many of these as we can before the alarm bell rings and says we got to go to a in-show weekly trivia question. But before we get there, what is the first group of teams that we're going to make a logo for?
All right. You put down the Kansas City Royals, the LA Kings, Sacramento Kings. You want to share which one? Honestly, I think this is the best one that that you have come up with for this one. Just because it's appropriate and very mascot-ish.
So I
think the design will work perfectly.
That's kind of the second half. It's so easy to be like, oh, here's a logo, here's a team that corresponds, or an anime that corresponds with it. But it's also how logoable is the main character or the person you're describing. And for all these royalty, these king-based teams, the first thing that popped into my head is Boji from Ranking of Kings. The adorable, plump little boy, cute little yellow crown. I mean, you could have just his face. You could have his face with a little crown. You could do like an alternate jersey or like a back of the jersey where you had Kage, his little shadow companion. It just works in so many ways. And if you look at like the the very dumb thumbnail I made for this YouTube video, I have a little Boji on a logo shirt. I spent too little time on that, but I'm very proud of it nonetheless. So.
Yeah. Coming up with another idea for this one, I was really struggling because surprisingly there are not many iconic anime kings. Like, where the heck are they? We have too many fantasy anime with too many forgettable kings. So it ruined the pot there. So the best I could come up with is just leaning on the gimmicks of Pokemon and just went with Slowking. He's not even that popular of Pokemon, but that's the best I got.
I'd say he's kind of popular, but yeah, you'd think there'd be more easily recognizable king characters and even kings in anime that have like a big factor in personality, like King Bradley from Full Metal Alchemist. Like, he's just like a dude. Like, the eye patch is kind of recognizable, but there's really not much to make him iconic on a sports jersey. So I think Boji.
I mean, I thought about King Canute from Vinland
Saga.
Vinland Saga, but he's not exactly mascot material.
Exactly. Let's just
next up.
Start burning through these. We have the Los Angeles Angels. There was a couple I was toying around with, but at the end, I thought it was pretty funny to go with Panty and Stocking because they're like a very anime vibe-coded angel, but still like very Western where, people would know what's going on. And probably if I had to pick one, I think Panty would be the more appropriate of the angels to pick. I also had Anje Woman from Digimon, the character with like that, I don't know, half helmet with the wings sticking out, but I think Panty would be my go-to pick. But I liked yours. I had it in my my idea bank at one point. So what is it?
Yeah, I mean, Haibane Renmei are like the most notable anime angels. Not really great for mascots, I don't think.
Which is
'Cause,
why I
know,
think
it's
I went
very
back to Panty.
depressing and muted type show.
Yeah.
I did think about, some more biblically accurate type angels, like the angels from Evangelion, but I'm
Yes,
like,
now we're talking.
"No."
Now we're talking.
And
Now you see
I
where I'm
did
coming
think
from.
I did think about Satan from Devilman Crybaby because he really is a biblically accurate angel in the
Yeah.
worst ways. But then I was like, no. So Haibane Renmei took the lead
If
on
you
my
did like the
list.
bloody wing from Haibane Renmei, like that would be kind of cool. Like just the wing, but I think put in a person on the chest, you got to go with Panty in like her kind of chibi square blocky form. I think that would loan itself well. So
Yeah.
we'll go with that as well. What's the next one?
I like what you did with this next one. We got the Houston Astros, Dallas Stars, Dallas Cowboys. What do you got, Mason?
Yeah, so all of these are very star themed in one way or another. And I was like, who better to pick with a star than the various Joe stars, the JoJos? They all have the iconic star tattoo type thing, if you will, somewhere on their body. So each team gets a Joe star. The Houston Astros can be Joseph, the Dallas Stars can be Jotaro, and the Dallas Cowboys can be Jonathan. And
any reason why those in particular went to those particular teams?
yeah, so I picked Joseph for the Astros because he's a big cheater, and it's kind of what they do, and that's why everyone hates him. Jonathan for the Cowboys because he comes from money, and they spend a lot of money on their players. And Jotaro for the Stars because, I don't know, hockey's badass, and so is Jotaro. I don't know. I kind of ran out for reasons for that one, but they can all be
this
different.
Will have
JoJos.
to be, yeah. This is going to have to be a group effort for Texas. I could not think of anything not nearly as good for one, not many ideas for this one. I did think briefly of the Sailor Starlights from Sailor Moon. The thing is, I have not, I did watch Sailor Moon as a kid, never watched any of like the Sailor Starlights part of the show. But when I saw their character design, I'm like thinking to myself, okay, that is the perfect tie-in for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They could definitely dress up like them. So yeah, that's all I got. And there's 3 of them. So yeah, as you said, 3 teams, 3 Starlights. I think it's perfect.
I like where your head's at, because I was originally thinking like mascots, and I'm like, well, mascots are kind of funky, but you're going even further down to like
branding,
cheerleading outfits, branding, yeah, identity.
Yeah,
you love it. I love it.
Well, if they're gonna do the change, they gotta think that way.
This next one is probably the easiest one to just look up, and I see some ones on your list that I was definitely going for, and that is the Minnesota Twins, who are the best twins in anime. And my first instinct was Tatsuya and Kazuya Uesugi, who are 2 baseball players from Touch. And I was like, they're twins that play baseball. Like, what better? And then I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I'm like, no one knows who these people are. They're not very recognizable,
You have
not
no
very logoable.
You have no idea how popular Touch could become in the 2040s, okay?
That's true. The renaissance of Touch is just around the corner. You gotta believe me. But at the end, I think I had to go if you had to ask 100 anime fans, like who are the most iconic twins in anime, I think at least 80 would have to go Rem and Ram from ReZero.
I agree.
And
you could just picture the baseball outfits that they'll wear in the marketing.
Of course. You could even just have, if you wanted to keep like the Twin City like TC logo of the twins, you could just have it colored with the blue and red hair respectively, and that would just be like a slight nod to it. But I like your picks as well. And what are they?
Yeah, we got Kaoru and Hikaru from Ouran High School Host Club. I would say the second place for most notable anime twins. But I also put on my list Mai and Maki from JJK, if only because they were both in the baseball episode of Jujutsu Kaisen.
There you go. The crossover is right there.
if I could not come up with as popular of twins as Rem and Ram, that's at least what I can do is make sure that they have a tie to baseball somewhere.
There you go. Now I want to say, Caroline, when I think of Kaoru and Hikaru, I don't think of them saying Kaoru, Hikaru, back and forth. I think of you making fun of them saying that. So there you go. That's just your complaining has like overwritten what they're like in my head. The next one,
I really complained about them?
I think you had like a one-off comment about how they were kind of irksome.
Oh, I mean, they are kind of irksome, but they are pretty funny.
They're great. They're good boys. We like them. The next one,
no, for this next one, I could not think of anything for this one. So please explain your pick.
This is a bold strategy here, and I think true scientists will like the end result. And that is the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. Now, how do you make a mascot for a team whose logo is like socks?
Yeah. How do you?
You think that, what does a sock imply? A sock implies a foot, ankles, shin. Like it implies anatomy that goes into said apparel, right?
Does it?
So, what we're trying to highlight here is the anatomy that would enter that. I'm going with Rin from Fate because she has that Zettai Ryoko, that absolute territory, that gap of thigh between skirt and sock that is truly, what all clothing is there for, to leave something to the imagination and reveal just enough to be tastefully fan servicey and indecent. So, what more fitting than Rin from Fate? She could be wearing white or red socks. They'd have to fight over her. Maybe Saber could be the other one, but she doesn't really do the same thing. I'm saying we got to get some fan service in there. And I'm going with...
so this is just your particular sock kink that we're working from
That's
here.
Exactly. The kink side of the mascots has not been appropriately addressed on our list yet. And we're trying to work our way there.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I'm trying to be equal opportunity, whatever this is. What's the next one?
All right, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Seattle Mariners, and the Buccaneers. What does TB stand for again?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. You can tell that I know my sports.
To the Bucks.
Yeah, you took the obvious one here.
Yeah, I threw One Piece on, planning to go back and doing maybe a better dive of like, maybe Luffy can be the pirates, and like the weird fisherman people can be mariners, and maybe like the more classical burly people can be buccaneers. But it's just different One Piece people. Just throw some One Piece people on there, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I kind of thought the exact same. However, I also thought about Black Lagoon because I feel they will absolutely want to include somebody as hot as Revy. So Revy will be the mascot for one of these teams, I think.
Yeah, you could also put like Captain Harlock. He could probably be, he's kind of buccaneer-y. So if you want to go old school, go with that. But there you go. There's enough One Piece characters to go around. We can share the love. So obvious. We'll take the tap in on that one. Next, we have another grouping that's pretty similar. We have the San Francisco Giants, the New York Giants, the Tennessee Titans, and in a weird twist of fate, I'm putting the New York Islanders in here. And I'm giving all of those Attack on Titan people. Because they're the Attack on Titan takes place on an island. Looking back, if I had to do it again, for the New York Islanders, I would give them Natsu from Barakamon, the little kid in the man
that would be
face.
Perfect.
So she can go to the New York Islanders, but everyone else can just be different Titans. And
yes,
it's literally in Tennessee Titans names. They get first dibs, but I think the Giants, you could also go with other big anime characters, but there's enough Titans to go around. You get a Titan, and you get a Titan.
Yeah, once again, I had to think outside the box because you took the Titans. I thought about Mount Lady from My Hero Academia. She is a giant busty woman. I think they'll appreciate a giant busty woman for one of these teams at least.
I want whoever is keeping track of score at home, and I know there's one of you, to now realize that Caroline has put 2 fan service suggestions, and I've only done 1. So I'm the good boy here. I'm the decent moral fiber of this episode.
I am just basing the picks off of what I know men like.
I'm just
so
based, Caroline says, and she's right. What's this next one?
Next one is one of my favorites. So it's the Boston Bruins, the Utah Grizzlies, Chicago Bears. What do you got, Mason?
I once again tried to assign a different bear to each of these teams because if you don't know, Bruins, they're all bears. They're all bears. So we have Monokuma from Danganronpa. We have Shirokuma, aka Polar Bear from Polar Bear Cafe. And we have Natsukumai, which is, I guess, a very realistic brown bear from Kumiko, which is a very bad anime. Don't watch it. But it was a pretty good bear. He ate food and talked to humans. So they're all just very fine, average, moderately memorable, kind of memeable bears. But I like yours.
Yeah, I also thought about a few other anime bears. We got Panda from JJK, obviously. We got Kuma Bear. I thought about that. But the first bear that I thought about, that can stand for all sports bears out there, is the bear from Golden Kamui. And if you are not familiar with the bear from Golden Kamui, please look on YouTube. I have a link in the show notes if you want to share that into the Twitch chat for me, Mason, if you don't mind. You don't even need to watch the whole clip. You just need to watch like the first 5 seconds, and you'll see why that this bear is the best bear. Just from jump scare, it's just a terrible CGI bear. They're in front of a little bonfire in the middle of the woods, and the bear jump scares the main character, and then they get into a fist fight. And it's really good. I highly recommend the bear from Golden Kamui to now represent all bears worldwide.
So I will say, first of all, I think that disdain for this bear is overblown. I think it's not
I love this bear.
That bad. I think people are oh,
Nobody's
Golden
denying.
Kamui is bad. Check out this bear. No, Golden Kamui is fun, and this bear gif is only more reason to check it out. That said,
and it's not one bad bear. This bear comes up in several scenes of this show, and it's awesome every time.
What was that show from a couple seasons back? Oh, I'm not going to be able to pull it out of my hat. With that really bad CG creature. It had big swooping horns. It was very bulky on 4 legs. I'm not, someone in the chat's going to be able to grab it.
Fantasy show.
Yeah, it was a fantasy show.
I know what you're talking about.
It was episode 2 or 3. We need some sports team, the Mammoth or something, to have that as their mascot. But going back to this CG bear, I want the logo, because it's kind of hard to do a logo of that and capture its CG greatness. But do you remember those fancy, they weren't holographic trading cards, but you would turn it and the logo would change? That's the effect we need on the jersey, so that as players move about the whatever field they're on, we get this awful CG effect on their jerseys. And that's the only way I think you could capture the essence of this creature in real life. So yeah, I think we go with that.
You have some great ideas, Mason.
I'm nothing if not an ideas guy. Speaking of which, this next one I'm very proud of. And that is for the...
Honestly, I could not even top this. I didn't even try.
I thought of different fire people, but for the Miami Heat, and even more impressively for the Calgary Flames, you gotta go with Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. Think about it. The Calgary Calcifers. Is that not just poetic? Does that not make you...
Absolutely.
That's peak. It doesn't get much better than that. Had I gone back in time, I would have replaced our thumbnail with Calcifer on a jersey, because he's just also very logoable, very iconic. Get Billy Crystal out there. He could do more press. And let's move on to Penguins. What do you have for the Pittsburgh Penguins?
I came up with this one literally 5 seconds ago because I'm like, penguins, penguins, penguins. Where do I see penguins, penguins, penguins? You came up with my first choice. I came up with the second choice. Penguin Highway, a movie, a very good one, might I add, where a bunch of penguins just show up in a town, and it's really cute, and there's really not much you can do with the penguin idea. So penguins for the penguins team is what I came up with.
And for me, gotta go with Penguin Drum. Those little blue, dumpy little penguins. Oh, they'd be so good on different logos. You could pick each of them for different jerseys. They're so good. And I'm not even going to bother explaining it, because if you know, and if you don't know, I can't justify it with words. Just look up like Mororu Penguin Drum, best penguin moments, and watch like a 5-minute clip on YouTube of them just being goobers, and you'll be sold.
I agree. You have to explain this next one to me, Mason. I couldn't come up with anything for this one.
Yeah, I was honestly just going to skip this next one, but we can go quickly, and that is the Vegas Golden Knights, a newish hockey team. And I had to go into my repertoire. I was going through a bunch of anime of knights or kings that wear golden armor. I'm thinking like Gilgamesh from Fate or stuff like that. Seven Deadly Sins. But honestly, this main character, Garo, his transformation is Golden Knight Garo. Like, how do you not pick that character to be the Golden Knight? It's in his name.
What show is this?
He's just Garo, Garo.
Okay.
It's
okay.
It's not good. Like, it would just be a dude in golden armor. Like, it's not a good logo. And I wouldn't know how to make it much better besides, like, you could maybe just take his golden, like, helmet that he wears, but even then it's just a golden knight at that point, and it's not really that anime, but it's something. And similar with this next one, we kind of touched on it with the various king options, but the Minnesota Vikings, someone from Vinland Saga, probably Thorkel.
Yeah.
But it could also be Thorfinn. But, like, it's just a dude on a shirt. The best. Yeah. It's got to be Thorkel.
He's the best Viking-looking guy on that show, I think. But yeah, again, how was I going to come up with anything better than an actual Viking for the Minnesota Vikings?
Sometimes we got to dig deep and go with, fan service and Zettai Rokyo, but sometimes you just got to go with the Viking for the Viking team.
Now this one, I think I have you beat. So if you want to share what you put down first.
I would agree. This one, I came up with the answer and I didn't do any deeper digging. And seeing yours, I wish I had, because for the Milwaukee Bucks, I put the deer god from Princess Mononoke. This is the forest spirit. This is that big transcendent ethereal creature with like 1,000 little antlers, stemming out from the head. But yours, come on. How do we beat that?
I mean, how could you not come up with this one, Mason? My dear friend Nokotan. How Nokotan as a mascot would be perfect.
So
there's so much you could do with that.
As a logo, I think Nokotan is fine. But I think, once again, you playing that 4D chess, Nokotan as a mascot and transcending, like, she's already a perfect mascot as the character she is. Like, no notes, change nothing, just say, like, go pretend to be Nokotan to someone in a big plushy costume, and you're in. That's virality tantamount. So, yeah, gotta be Nokotan for the Bucks. No notes there.
I think I have a similar situation with this next one, too, for the Toronto Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
I thought back in my memory, okay, anime, dinosaurs. And it came to me as if a message from God. Gallon Dino from Gallon Dino. And if you don't know what Gallon Dino is, because it has not been talked about at all since it came out and it took the world by storm and just left, it is a very strange show. Kind of strange like My Dear Friend Nokotan, but better. Because for some reason, it's also kind of like Pop Team Epic a little bit in some ways.
I think it's done by the same people.
It's Pop Team Epic. Yeah, but it became like the most popular profile mascot photo for our Discord. Everybody was Dino.
When you said this
I
blew
miss
up
those days.
worldwide, I think it was mainly just our Discord because we
In
just
our
fell
Discord,
in love
probably.
with it. But it's so great.
Yeah.
And the best part
Good
about
times.
it, once again,
Alan
Caroline,
Dino times were the best times.
Caroline, thinking ahead of the game, not only is it a great logo, but you already have the mascot costume made. It already exists because in the show,
It's in the show,
first
right?
half would be the show, and then the second half, most of the time, would be the exact same part as the first half, just the live action reenactment of it. And someone would play this bumbling, goofy dinosaur. And he doesn't speak, he just has like positive, affirmative smiles, and you're halfway there. I think if I want a Christmas present right now of that dino on a t-shirt. Like that, I think would make my life. So, Gallon Dino, easy pick for the Toronto Raptors. I went, a little more ahead of the game. I'm not going to say mine because it's spoilers for JoJo, but there's a character from JoJo Part 7 that's coming out very soon. He's a little dino boy, and he's great. And I wanted to share some love to him along with the other Joe stars in the cowboy category. So someone, JoJo 7, look out. He's a dino. He's pretty cool. I'm realizing Zero Rokyo in the chat, who came up with a bunch of good suggestions in our Discord, of which I'll shout out at the end. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, he went with the Pittsburgh Pen Pens, the penguin from
Perfect.
Evangelion. So once again,
I don't know how I forgot about Pen, to be honest.
I literally have him right here on my got a little racing pen. Look at that boy. He's completely out of focus, but he's a pen. We stand pen around here. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Oh, we got time for a couple more of these. Moving on to the San Diego Chargers. I threw this one on last minute. Pikachu. How do you not go with Pikachu?
That's pretty obvious.
So easy putt on that one.
I could only follow up with Denki from My Hero Academia. That's the only one I do, yeah. But Pikachu will just go with that one.
And I was thinking of the
Denki will be the one they go with if they don't have enough money to bring in Pikachu.
Yeah, if they don't have the Pikachu bucks, they go with Denki. Similar, the My Hero Academia, that Father Inferno boy, he's what I was thinking for like the Miami Heat at one point before I thought of Calcifer. It could go either way.
No, Calcifer is so much better.
That's really going to be my peak, idea for the year. Moving on to just token Magic. We have the Orlando Magic and the Washington Wizards. And I tried to think of who might be the most iconic wizard magic-y type creature in anime that would like make a good logo. I ended up with Elias Ainsworth from the Ancient Magus Bride, big deer skull head looking mofo. He's kind of cool looking. He's kind of cool. Some of the people on your list I did consider, but I didn't go with them. Tell us what you got.
Ironically, the first two I thought about were not at all wizards. Ironically. Just in shows heavily related to wizards and magic. We got Asta from Black Clover, who canonically cannot do magic. And we got Mash from Mashal, who canonically is not a wizard. So, yeah. Other thoughts I came up with. Little Witch Academia. Cute anime girls with little witch hats. Perfect. And I don't know how you forgot about this, very popular wizard. Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, obviously. You thought about Calcifer, you forgot about Howl.
I did have Howl on my list, but I was already pulling Calcifer, and I don't think Howl... I guess you could just do his face, popular. But, he's not as... I don't know. I think Mash would make a better logo.
Because I think people, even if they haven't seen Mashal, would get it, because you got the Harry Potter thing going on.
Yeah. And I know it sounds bad because I'm like, oh, this dude wouldn't make a good mascot because this dude would just make a better mascot. And they're both just anime dudes. But, come on. Mash has a more simplified look that could be captured. So, good picks all the way around. I think we could probably do Howl. The
concession
Mash.
Stand will sell cream puffs.
Yeah, exactly. Once again,
more marketing.
Caroline thinks about the big picture. That's why... Sports teams, when you eventually do this, hire Caroline to be your
You got me.
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
What do you say we just do this one last one that we have coming up, just because I think we should mention it, and then we talk about some listener ideas?
Yeah, I think so. And that is the Indianapolis Colts / the Denver Broncos / Uma Musume. This is just you want a horse on your mascot? You got an Uma Musume character. You get horse girls up the wazoo. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any more teams with horse stuff. Like the Calgary Flames have an alternate jersey that has a sports or a horse on it, but why not? Now, I was hoping Otaku would be on to explain exactly which horse girl would go to which team. I don't have that insight. Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Yeesh. No, I have not seen Uma Musume. But let's just say horse girls get to be on the horse teams. I think that works fairly well.
Perfect. I think that covers the buck. If you want to see our couple extra ideas that we had, you got to subscribe to our bonus content and get our show notes. Ooh, fancy.
You're making it, you're putting it behind.
I'm paywalling my shitty jokes behind like $2 of. It's not worth it. Trust me. Just ask me on the Discord. Just be like Mason.
I don't get it. Listen, guys, I don't get his jokes. I really. That's why I'm like, what? Skip ahead.
So some listener ideas that people posted in the chat and on the Discord before we did this that I did not have beforehand. I want to shout out. One came from Raggedy Doctor. He wasn't even on the episode, but he wanted to participate. For the Flyers, the Philadelphia Flyers, the hockey team that famously has Gritty, whatever that is, that big orange googly-eyed entity that is their mascot. He wanted their logo to be whatever abomination from Made in Abyss to replace Gritty and be less scary than that. So there you go.
I can't remember who's Abomination, or is that just Mitty?
I think he's thinking Mitty.
Oh, that's so sad. Mitty was a good person.
I mean, it could be a lot of
Abomination.
It could be a lot of the characters from season 2. Like there's some jacked up people there.
Yeah.
How about these next ones?
Zero came up with a ton of ideas.
Yeah.
Or was that? No, that was Alexmo who came up with the most.
Zero came up with a ton of ideas, but some of them had already either been captured by us or
I see.
Similar. But I took 3 that I liked besides the Pens, which I already mentioned. But what were they?
The 49ers are the 86ers. I guess the only connection there is the fact that they are numbers.
Yeah, but
and
it's
the
still
Lions.
pretty good.
Yeah, Kimba the White Lion, which perfect, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then we have the Pittsburgh Pens, which we also just talked about recently. So, thank you, Zurioko, for those ideas. And next is Alex Mo, who I love this one. The Montreal Canadiens, Anne of Green Gables. Perfect. Yeah. They love Anne.
Yep. No notes. She's Canadian, and it doesn't get much funnier than that. For the New Jersey Devils.
And she is also it's a good mascot idea too. I mean, Wendy's did it, right?
Yeah, if Wendy's can do it, just literally swap the same design. Take out the little, they're not, the ribbons. I don't think, does Anne have ribbons?
No, she just has braids.
Yeah, braids, and we just got to elongate the forehead a bit. Like, just do that and you'll be fine. For the New Jersey Devils, Mr. Satan literally already looks like their mascot.
From?
Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay.
This one is another name-based pun. Nashville Predators, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter.
That's a good one.
Similar for the Utah Jazz, Kids on the Slope.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could just do
almost all of these are name-based.
Yeah.
Because the next one is Milwaukee Brewers for Tokyo Ghoul, just because they work in a coffee shop and brew coffee.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's a good logo. It just wouldn't make much sense.
No, I don't think so.
And then finally, the Edmonton Oilers, they put Machio from How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, assuming he gets oiled up before competitions because he's a bodybuilder boy. And man, you just love when the listeners come in and do the topic better than us, and puts me to shame. But you know what? We appreciate the ideas, even the raggedy ones that kind of scare us internally. and we will jump to a news break with no news because it was a slow news break. But we do have a trivia question for you to keep you busy.
We do.
And I hope I had fun putting this list together, and I hope you had fun listening.
Oh yeah, this was fun. I love mascots and logos and stuff like that, so this was a good one. All right, in-show weekly trivia question. In the second season of My Dress Up Darling, what does Marin make Gojo for lunch? And we'll give you the answer after a very short news break.
Anime Addicts, the AAA podcast, is always trying to bring you new and exciting ways to enjoy our content, and now we have an exclusive member-only RSS feed on the site that is going to let you access our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties episodes, all from your favorite mobile apps. That's an additional 8 episodes of content per month just for you, and you can listen to it through Apple Podcast app, you can listen to it through Podcast Addicts, Pocket Cast, Overcast FM, Downcast FM, etc., onward and onward. So many mobile apps for you to choose from. If you were holding back on supporting the podcast because you didn't like listening to our extra content through our website, now you can get it and listen to it the same way you enjoy all your other podcasts. So pitch in, help out the podcast, do a good thing, and enjoy all the extra content we have for you. Just go to AAAPodcast.com/join, and you will get all this extra content and an exclusive member RSS feed for you to enjoy. That's AAAPodcast.com/join, and support the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast following that little break that we had in there for no reason. When we last left you, we had a trivia question. In the second season of My Dress Up Darling, what does Marin first make Gojo for lunch? The answer, Spam race balls. And she made a whole heckin' lot of them, and they were thick boys. That, do you remember that one?
I do remember that one. I rewatched it earlier today because I watched so much of this season like weeks ago. But I remember loving that scene so much I rewatched it earlier just to get a refresher.
Well, let's refresh you. Next up, we have mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
Otaku, you gonna read this one? No?
Sure.
Because he's not here.
I thought... Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you
didn't even hear you say otaku at first.
Oh.
And that's why I responded. I am not otaku, by the way. But yeah, this one was from last week, wasn't it? And we had to move it to this week.
It was from last week. And then I was thinking, this is such a good question because this is why you should go to our podcast Discord, AAADiscord.com, and sign up for Secret Santa. But not to put the cart before the horse. What's the question?
Yeah. So the question is from Prosomo, who asks, Hey, Anime Addicts! With the help of going through old episodes and anime Discord challenge servers, I am able to become a proper anime addict. So, I am curious, what would you give as a challenge for people to encourage them to watch more anime and diverse anime? And I would respond with my bias being the anime club on our Discord. I think it's really great to way to pick up shows that you never would originally pick for yourself because it's kind of like a school assignment. You feel like you have to do a school assignment, even though it's not really required in this case. But it opens you up. It makes it a little bit more fun to watch a show that maybe you were not all that jazzed about because you know you'll be discussing it with your friends online. And as Mason said, the Secret Santa. This is literally what it's all about. Is recommending people anime that they might not have considered before, especially if it's like in the case of Secret Satan. But even so, regular Secret Santa, you'll be given a show that you have not seen before, and you'll be able to discuss it with your Secret Santa after the names have been revealed. So it's a lot of fun, and I recommend it.
Yeah, agreed. I want to do a thing in 2026 that I'm going to call the Great Unknown Anime Hunt. And I want to use my influences on this small little podcast for good and or evil, depending on how you perceive it. But I want people to go out there and like find an anime. I'm challenging our listeners to do this, but like find an anime that you've not heard anyone talk about. I don't care if you find this by just scrolling through Mel, by just hitting random on your Crunchyroll subscription. Go out there and find an anime that I've never seen mentioned. Watch it. Let me know, like, is it worth my time? And like, I want to conglomerate like all the suggestions that people submit and have like a list of like, here's 20, 30 shows that the most people have never even heard of, not let alone seen, never even experienced in any way, and like give them a shot and like highlight them, and as like a community effort, try to dig through the trawls of years of anime that have gone forgotten, and try to find some gems out there. And I think that'd be fun to do. So it's not official, but I'm officially saying it's going to happen. So there you go. We're doing it. 2026.
Okay, so the idea is you're like asking the community for help to shine a light on those lesser known.
Yeah. I'm only one guy and I can only watch so many shows, but especially this season, it's such a bad season. If you're going to watch bad anime, watch old bad anime instead and try to find something good. Roll the dice. See what's out there. Give things a shot. Don't just stick to the lane, because that's how you get in the same rut as everyone else. So watch the classics, watch some good shows, but just roll the dice. Just start a show that you've never heard anything about and just see where it goes. That's sometimes a ton of fun. Get a group of people together and just do that. You'll have a blast, I promise. So that's how you do it, by just committing. And
Andrew and Raggedy also answered this question because it was meant for last week.
Mm-hmm.
Their answers are still on the notes here, so if you are able to access our show notes, you'll be able to find out what they answered with. But with that, I'd say, with that, I say we head into our review. What do you say, Mason?
That sounds great, darling, because we are reviewing season 2 of My Dress Up Darling. This is a show that I think you and Otaku and Mitz and one other person had failed back when we were doing reviews, mostly because it was just, more Dress Up Darling, and it was a strong season, and I don't know if there was much of a reason to review it back then, but the listeners brought it back. We reviewed season 1 on episode 624. This is streaming on Crunchyroll or Netflix in certain regions. It is done by Cloverworks, who did Fragrant Flower and Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus the very same season this came out, just pumping out a ton of shows. It's based on the manga, and this is from the summer 2025 season. So, Caroline, what were your expectations going into season 2?
Well, I really liked season 1. It is, kind of like a typical rom-com with cosplay thrown in there. There were some things I wish were a little bit better with, concerning main character Gojo, but I was looking forward to more Dress Up Darling. I really like the show. Just more cosplay, more slow burn rom-com stuff. Not much to discuss, but fun. So I was looking forward to continuing to watch it, like I was originally planning to anyway when we decided to forego it in reviews originally.
I think Caroline and I are going to be in a bit of lockstep for some of this review. Same boat. I mean, I enjoyed season 1, gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Thought it was pretty solid. You know, a couple tweaks here and there, but overall, I like what Cloverworks does with their shows. They look good, they feel good, they move well, and you know, you get some ROM, you get some informative cosplay content, a little dabble in spicy fan service. It's all a good time. I was surprised this didn't get passed, but going back to watch your guys' impression, it made sense why it didn't. I'm glad it got passed. I'm glad I got to revisit this world. But I was just expecting more of season 1, and that's kind of what I got. So spoiler-free recommendation. Would you recommend season 2 to the good people who haven't checked it out yet?
If you haven't seen season 1, in general, I would recommend My Dress Up Darling. It is a good show, but if you have seen season 1, this second season's not really going to change your mind, whatever it was from watching it at first. It's good. It's fun. It's got way better animation than it really needs. Watching some of these scenes back, because as I mentioned, I did watch quite a bit of the show as it was coming out, and I finished it before these recent weeks preparing for this review. So I only rewatched a few episodes. But rewatching some of the scenes, I'm like, the fluidity. Like, why? Why is it so fluid? It looks good. Gojo, I will say, gets some much needed development in the cultural festival arc, and this arc is one of the best arcs in the show. We did not get to this arc before we did this impression. So while my comments about the show during that time were good, but I only watched the festival arc after that impression episode came out. Had I seen it before, I probably would have insisted that we pass it because I think it was just that good. I did get a little bit frustrated with the coffin cosplay arc. Mostly because, well, a lot of characters that were introduced previously in the show, whether it be from season 1 or even just like in the first couple episodes of season 2, they come back and they all kind of gather for this arc. And I'll be honest, I've forgotten a lot of characters from season 1 that aren't Gojo and Marin.
It's been like 4 years, and all of a sudden they're like,
it's been a little while.
Spoilers. Bam, Juju's back, and you're like, I remember she was a character, but like...
Yeah, I remember she's like a jerk
short.
and but and then her sister gets brought in. I think she was in season 1. But
Yep.
oh my, like them aside, I would say half of the characters within this group that gather for this cosplay, I have forgotten how they know Marin and what they do and how they were introduced in the first place. And just to make that even worse, because, you know, you could say that's just because of me not remembering and I should have rewatched it or something like that. On top of all that, they're wearing nun outfits for this cosplay. And because they are the same outfits, the only thing differentiating them is like the different hair. But I also am not familiar, like this is a in-show cosplay. I'm not familiar with the characters they are cosplaying. And also, they're wearing the same outfits. So it's very hard to tell them apart in this cosplay. And considering I had a hard time telling them apart in their normal characters, at least some of them, I was like watching this arc and trying to fit like very similar puzzle pieces together, trying to build this picture. And I was having such a hard time with it. I really was. So that just goes to show you just how standardized the character designs are, especially for the female characters. They have the exact same face, and that's made it plainly obvious. That aside, which really isn't, you know, it could just be considered a nitpick. I really enjoyed this season. The romance does not develop much, but there are so many sweet scenes. And I love Marin and I love Gojo and I love them together. And I'm looking forward to a future season if we get one. So that is my spoiler-free recommendation.
Yeah, a lot of the same. If you like season 1, watch this. If you haven't seen season 1, watch season 1. Like, that's as far as it goes. If you liked how that was going, keep the train rolling. I think season 2 does enough to still be worth watching. If you are here for mostly cosplay stuff, with just a blush of wish fulfillment romance, I think you're in the clear. If you want more romance out of season 2, you're gonna be a little bit wanting more than what they developed. That said, this show was a roller coaster for me. There were a lot of ups and downs, and I really think it was an arc by arc basis. This is 12 episodes, 4 arcs, each about 3 episodes long, and it was down, up the whole way. I liked, as Caroline mentioned, the cultural festival arc, probably the highlight of the season, and I did like the coffin arc more than...
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
There were ups and downs. We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
That said, the show is not about the romance as much as it is beating you over the head with, oh, it's not strange to like what other people don't normally enjoy doing. Cosplay is for everyone. It doesn't matter about gender norms. Like, giving help can be easy. Asking for help can be hard. Like, they just really beat you over the head with people explicitly stating what the show is about and positivity. And I'm all for that inclusivity and all that goodness, but it felt like it was a little too, not just preachy, but just like yelling from a microphone preachy of just like, okay, we get it. It's everyone's a happy, good, fun time. Let's have a little more nuance in our discussion of hobbies and growing up and slice of life and all that stuff. But nonetheless, it was still a mostly enjoyable show. As Caroline said, it sounded just as a well-produced piece of art. And I would recommend if you enjoyed season 1. So with that, let's get into the juicy spoilers.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
I mean, there really aren't a ton of spoilers, but...
I mean, there's no spoilers from like a romantic front. And it really comes down to, generally, do we still like Marin and Gojo? Yes. Do we generally like the people they hang out with? They're fine. There's just too many of them. And that's pretty much where the show leaves you.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of characters, I'm like, wait a minute, do we know them already? Are they new? Like, even right out of the gate, they do a Halloween thing. They go out for Halloween with some classmates of theirs. And I recognize Noah, but I don't know like who she is. Does she do cosplay? She's not one of Marin's gal friends. But I can't remember. But she did make me laugh when they're doing karaoke and she just randomly screams out, "Go do it! Because that's exactly what we are all doing."
Yes. Noah is the spirit raccoon that every shrine group needs. That would drive Mitsugi insane, but she was not as annoying as I thought she might end up being.
Yeah.
Like, she was used... I think a lot of characters, for most of the background folks, were used in small quantities that made their humor and how they interacted with Marin and Gojo interesting and fun and engaging. I think the biggest problem with a lot of the show is characters like Amane and I'm trying to remember the other guy who was like there's just a lot of... It got bogged down with characters that I just didn't care about. And
yeah,
it would just... They repeated a lot of these same things we already were going through with Gojo. For example, episode 1, Gojo goes out to cosplay with all of Marin's friends, still always feeling like, oh, I paint dolls, like that's my thing, that's my hobby, that's strange. One girl once called me weird, and that's been like weighing me down for my lifetime. And we get this whole like positive affirmation of like, no, bro, that's sick. Like, that's awesome. Don't feel bad about doing your hobbies. That's awesome. Do your thing. And he's like, oh, maybe I'm not weird.
Yeah,
and then like 2 episodes later, we get that exact same conversation with Amane of her being like, oh, I didn't want to do this because it's kind of weird. My girlfriend said like, that's weird. So I broke up with her. And like, it's not weird that I like the things I like. We got the exact same plot beats.
Yeah.
Again. And it just was like, I appreciate you, Amane. I'm glad we're getting that side of the story. But like, we're just wasting time from much more interesting people. And
it would be a little bit better if it was kind of intentionally woven into an arc for Gojo, because we do get the cultural festival arc, and that's supposed to be kind of his official end of his embarrassment over what he likes and what he does. So if the karaoke scene, maybe that didn't actually happen, or maybe it was still kind of vague and maybe it was miscommunicated and he still believed that it was seen as weird. And then Mane comes in and kind of plants a seed, maybe for him to think like, okay, maybe I'm not the only weird one, or not weird, but like maybe I'm not the only one who does things differently from the norm. And then it accumulates into him proving himself in front of his classmates and showing what he can do and being praised in front of everybody. And Gojo is reborn as a very, proud, sweet boy that he is.
Able to be confident and like himself around Marin without like breaking down into like a bunch of bubbling, cowardice. Like the big structure of the first 6 episodes is Gojo being comfortable in his own skin, and I'm glad for him. I'm good with that. And getting to episodes 4 through 6, which are the big cultural festival arc, I would say actually started really poorly. They begin with this whole like 6-minute sequence looking at this the game show, the show that they're cosplaying, that Marin is cosplaying for this event she's doing. It's called The Number One Host, blah 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 blah. They do this like 6-minute dive into like the show, and it's not good. Like they try to land this big emotional beat, it doesn't last. And I looked back, every time that Marin is about to do a big cosplay, they kind of do a little bit of whatever property she's cosplaying from to give you a sense of the appeal. And season 1, they did the Flower Princess Blaze. That in-show thing took 2 minutes. Another one in the first episode of season 2, when she did that Bunny Girl cosplay from Sui Kono Company, that took 2 minutes. In episode 10 of season 2, when they did the coffin where Gojo's playing the game, that took 2 minutes. This one, for this cultural number one hosting, took 6 minutes, and it felt like it took the whole episode. It just dragged, and I was like, I don't care about the show. I don't care about what they're doing. It didn't sell me on it. And I don't think they
totally
needed
agree.
to.
I put this down on my notes also, because I appreciate them trying to show where they're pulling these things from, because they're like expanding the world. They're giving it more detail. They're showing that these properties exist within the world they are creating,
And I love
which is
that.
cool.
It's so awesome.
But it's not interesting, and even the 2 minutes, they feel long. Especially coming out on like season 1, episode 1, the first 2 minutes. I want to see Marin. I want to see Gojo. I want to see them together. I don't want to watch this weird show that I don't know anything about right out of the gate. And then, I totally forgot about it because I did not rewatch it. I did not get up to that point in my rewatch. But the host show thing, that was so long. Thank you for reminding me, because that was excessive.
Each time they show one of these things, they're not just pulling the costumes from it for the cosplay. There's some through line. For example, in this host show that they do, one of the big scenes is the bento scene, where the main character of the show presents a bento to the host she likes, and it's supposed to be this big emotional thing, and it parallels in My Dress Up Darling, where Marin is making these bentos for Gojo, and it's supposed to be like, oh, look at the bento from the show, the bento in real life, like it's all connected, but it's so shallow and it doesn't land, which is even more amazing that when we do get to the big finale in episode 6 of the climax of Marin going on stage, transforming into this character, I was like, wow, this is surprisingly emotional. Like for some reason, the show turned it around and made me be like, yeah, this is awesome. And so props that it did such a good job with that.
Yeah, and like and it gets to the point where it's not just like those moments of rewatching, or not rewatching, but watching the properties within the show. It's not just uninteresting, but I honestly thought that anime bento scene was so cringy, and like I can't take this seriously. But then we get Marin's own little bento scene with Gojo, and that was my favorite scene from the whole show, because again, the animation is animating, and then it's just ridiculous background when Marin introduces a rice ball, and then Gojo runs over all happy-go-lucky because it's not absolute crap, and then we do like they flip through the manga panels in the background, and Marion is so happy and Gojo's so happy until he holds the rice ball and he realizes, oh,
This
this
is like 5
totally
pounds
not
of
good.
rice.
But it's so sweet and I love it.
Just the way he's like,
and
thank you, and her hair like blows back. Like they
Yeah.
make it so over the top in a way that fits with the comedy, and just it's such a good scene.
Yeah, and they have such good ideas in this show. So it's really it's so much more than just your average slow burn rom-com, because there's just so much good stuff in here.
So I started off, kind of lukewarm on the season. I'm like, yeah, it's back. It's the same Aaron Gojo beats, some good comedy, some good animation. Episode 6, I was riding high. I'm like, we are so back.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're watching this. I'm excited for what is to come next. I like seeing Marin become this character. We got into like, oh, how can she stand more masculine? How can you use tape to like change your face structure? How can you do this and this? And it was firing on all cylinders. It was comedic, it was romantic, it was funny, it was emotional.
Bringing in characters from the classroom into this, and I'm like, okay, we're finally getting some other characters.
Good weaving, and then we got to the first big drop in quality, in my opinion, and that is, for so much of the show, we're in Gojo's head. When he's thinking about stuff, he's thinking about, how do I design this cosplay? Stress about working, splitting my time between making these costumes, working at the Hina doll shop. How do I not make people think I'm weird? How do I not embarrass myself? Like, he's dealing with a lot emotionally. And every time we go into Marin's head, it's just, I love Gojo so much. I love him. He's amazing. She doesn't think about anything else besides Gojo when we enter her brain. And when we finally do get into some Marin POV in the second half, it's, oh, people said I'm fat, so now I gotta lose weight. It felt very shallow. Then we get this, once again, they go to this ACOS convention, this big cosplay convention, and we just bring all those people back from season 1, episode 1, and just, once again, it's not Marin and Gojo, it's Marin and Gojo and 17 other people all fighting for attention and speaking lines, and just not that interesting or engaging of stuff. There's only so many times I can hear people say, oh, to cosplay, I put tape over my face to change my face, or can't wait to take my face tape off because it changes my face shape, or, oh, if I want to appear tall in cosplay photos, shoot photos from below so I seem tall in the cosplay photos where I shoot. They just kept on repeating these cosplay prop things from Wiki. It just felt like I like the cosplay. That's an important element, but that's not why I'm here. I get that cosplay is for making friends and exploring your community, all that good stuff. I get it, but it's also not the most interesting part of Dress Up Darling.
If these things, because you're right, they are very condensed, especially in certain episodes and not so much in other episodes. If these things could just be in the episode break and in the commercial break, a little chibi know-how, or at the end of an episode as,
the post-credit,
these
always fun
great.
Facts. Sure.
Yeah, because they're not ruining the pacing of the show that way, and they're still there because that's still an important element of the show. But you're right. I don't really mind it too much, except when it's the entire episode, and I'm not personally bringing these know-how into my real life, so
it's fine, but I think it just distracts from what the show does best, with the comedy and a little bit of romance and a little bit of Marin fan service that she does every once in a most of the time, because Gojo's underpower imagination is not doing the legwork to get her into these compromising positions. So the show's like, well, we made it grade A waifu. We got to show her doing something. So let's stick her butt out, show her feet. It's not bad, but it's just there enough to be okay, yeah, you're trying to sell some stuff.
Yeah.
That said, I liked the coffin arc. I think, once again, they showed it for 2 minutes of Gojo playing it at night, and it was spooky. It really captured that kind of visual novel horror. It was
I think out of all the looks into the franchises they're cosplaying from, that was the most interesting look into it.
Yeah, and you could see how then that transformed and became the photo shoot and cosplay that it did. Yes, to your point, this character you haven't really seen in a while. are all dressed in a similar outfit, are wearing wigs that are different than the hair color they usually have while being same as other characters. So like Marin, okay, she's blonde, but she's wearing a brown wig, and the character that has brown black hair is wearing a brown wig. So like you're constantly having to play, like, cross your eyes trying to figure out who is who all the time. It's kind of fun to play, but it is a little bit scatterbrained to do so. And most of the big revelations are based around Juju and this kind of silly at the end misunderstanding between Akira and Marin that plays off as a big gag at the end of the show. It's fine, but it's just not a huge emotional climax like episode 6 was. And
yeah,
you know, if someone to say, "Oh, Mason, are you going to watch season 3 of this show?" I would be like, I mean, I definitely would give it a shot, but I would know exactly what I'm looking for it, and most of what I thought this season delivered wasn't what I was signing up for. I don't know.
yeah, I get it. Like, I am not so jaded with the rom-com without much rom genre, so as long as I like the characters and I'm eternally rooting for them to eventually possibly maybe get together by the end of whatever manga it is coming from, I can handle it. Especially because when we do get some cute scenes, they are so cute. And even though I agree this first half following mostly Gojo was superior than the second half following Marin and her not so interesting insights.
Cohorts, yeah.
I really liked her turmoil over Gojo, in certain ways. Not as much as Gojo's inner turmoils, but I felt for the girl, you know? She's just a girl in love and she's trying her best.
She's not ready
I will
for that
say that
triple
even
X
though
Magnum.
Oh my god, yeah, I was just about to say, as much as I did like the coffin arc, I what the hell was the energy drink debacle? Like, geez, Marion, how is it possible that she got that mixed up?
I mean, it is an interesting discussion about, like, you know, when are people ready to have, you know, sexual experiences? When do you take this? Like, it is an awkward time in people's lives, but I don't know
Agreed.
if that's if it's done
But it's
mostly for a
Gojo.
gag. Yeah.
Any sane person would know that this cannot be the same person. That, like, your assumption of what he's buying does not at all fit this person that you've known for a long time.
Love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah.
I think it's tough because if you just have the show of Marin and Gojo, that's too much of these characters. Have other characters, mix it up. You have too many characters and we're saying, "Oh, where's the Marin Gojo time?" Like, it's a tricky balancing act, and I don't envy the position the show is in. I don't know. It's an artistic show. It looks good. There's a lot of nice artistic motifs. The way that Marin and Gojo view each other through doorways and, like, the opening and throughout the shows. The way, like, Marin scoots over on the couch to be closer to Gojo, and it, like, aligns her with the character she's cosplaying in Coffin on that. Like, there's a lot of nice touches that I appreciated, and besides just looking good, I think it's a smartly directed, well put together show. And, like, there's just a baseline appeal of watching this move. And on top of that, the characters are nice. The characters are positive. It makes you feel good to watch it, even if it is a little cheesy and misunderstanding at times. So I like it. It's a good show.
Yeah, I agree. Just some other quick nitpicks before we do our final rating. How did they not think of doing a corset for the bunny girl outfit? Like, I'm sorry. I know Gojo might not have thought about it, but Marin definitely should have thought about it.
You're talking like the ribbing or the...
Yeah, like ribbing, you know, like supportiveness within the bunny girl outfit. And I know they keep on saying, like, well, that's not how it is in the anime. I'm like, it's anime logic. They're not designing outfits that automatically work in real life.
Yeah,
So of course you're gonna put some support within a bunny girl outfit that doesn't have straps.
Yeah, my only, like, maybe justification is, like, the materials that Gojo works with on Hina dolls is so small that like they don't need that kind of support because the fabric already has that structure. But like when you're working with big people, like he's been in the game long enough, he probably should have been like, yeah, everyone knows what these are used for. So
yeah,
fair.
Yeah, and Maureen too should have realized it. But that being said, we did get that moment from the G shopkeeper who was like looking at Gojo's plans for this bunny girl outfit and was initially shocked and then realized like, wait a minute, the times are different. If this boy wants to wear a bunny girl suit, then let him. And here, I'll even show you where to get the materials. And I'm like, oh man, they have so many supporting cast members in this show that they barely spend any time with. But this one guy that doesn't even have a name,
that's the guy we needed more from.
Yeah, I loved him. Yeah, so just overall, it was a good show, and I think we're ready to rate it. If you would like to go first.
Yeah, I can do that. I think there were some visual missteps here and there just from budgeting or production woes, but for the most part, it's good looking, it's well produced, it's still funny when it tries to be, it's still, emotional when it usually wants to be, and it's still interesting even if the romance doesn't quite have much juice in it. I would watch season 3 should it come out. I think there is a lot to like here. I think Cloverworks remains a studio that is worth giving a shot to almost anything they put out. That said, I don't think it's worse than season 1, but I don't think it's that much better. I think there was enough bumps along the road where I found myself being like, this is probably not the best use of the show's time, and because of all that, I'm gonna give it the exact gosh darn score I gave season 1, which is 3.5. It's not weird to be weird out of 5. It's still a decent time and worth checking out.
Yeah, I cannot remember what I rated the show last time, but that being said, I enjoyed it. I enjoy the characters. I'll take whatever they give me going forward. And I will give this show 4 Gojos wearing bunny girl outfits out of 5.
Yeah, maybe if we had more of that, I think we could crank this score up to a 4 for me. But nonetheless,
I mean, thinking back to the Impressions episode, I was singing the praises of Rascal, Bunny Girl Senpai show.
Mm-hmm.
I was singing their praises more than My Dress Up Darling, but now my opinions have flip-flopped. Like My Dress Up Darling Bunny Girl kind of went downhill after the Impressions, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to review this show anyway.
As am I, and I'm glad that everyone here was able to listen to it. If you made it to the end, let us know what you thought, what you give this score, and hopefully you had a good time watching. Let us know what sports teams we didn't talk about that could use an anime logo, and we hope you will stick around to next week. We will be doing a review of Clevites, so if you watch that, you're already ready. If not, feel free to go ahead to prepare for next week. As always, find us on our socials: Twitter, Facebook, Discord, TikTok. Join the Anime Club, join the Secret Santa or Satan if you feel so inclined. Go to AAAPodcast.com, subscribe to our bonus content, our hentai episodes, after parties, and the Addicts. I think that's all 3 of them. Stay tuned. We'll have another episode next week. We appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.